Everybody knows her roles.
I'm Jason. Can I, boss,
Yep.
can I, so when we get to page, what you have as page,
Yeah, 16.
16,
We'll give you the.
we'll give you a new handout.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay,
Do we number our pages?
they're numbered.
They're numbered. They're already numbered.
Right.
Here. Okay.
Yes, okay.
You can figure it out.
Linda, no.
And welcome, good people. The Stay Pure Tavern had our usual entertainment schedule already printed up and ready to go. But we forgot Sunday afternoon to set aside for our regular game, Family Feud. So let me give you a glimpse at what the full program will be. First, to just a taste of the dance performance in store for you by our ever popular Greek chorus. Okay. Number 1, the Cupid Shuffle. Number 2, the Jerk, or better known as Donald, or the former guy, or El Rotundo. 3, the Freaky Deaky, minus any bailout death threat. And chorus is a few moves for each dance, okay. Second, Family Feud. Third, a special segment on the advice Ricky Ricardo would give to Lucy. You need to see a psychiatrist. Fourth, we will finish up with a segment called Woke Me When It's Over. So tonight, we will explore the far-fetched hope of finding issues we, the third and the right, the left and the right, might have an agreement, and to break down the stereotypes we may have of each other. Tall order. So let's see what we can accomplish. Okay, I'm preparing for the
Can we be friends?
I like it. That's a good one. Okay.
I know you're
Working for the
Yeah, they wouldn't have you in the
Why can't we be friends? We are not looking to make friends tonight, folks. Seriously, good to see you. The 3 are on time. More like leave your weapons at the front door and no Will Smith sucker punches. Seriously, good to see you 3 on time. We got a big afternoon here at the Stay Pure Tavern. I'm a little nervous about bringing the 2 sides, better yet, tribes together. Of course, we invited only people of the 74 million Trump voters who don't believe in the big lie, nor are they anti-vaxxers. Let's call it the 20% Project. They aren't the crazies, the insurrectionists, but still, we have 2 different tribes from different worlds. The other day, a group of suburbanites came in and they were higher than a giraffe's ass. I had to push the coffee over the cognac. Lost some dollars that evening, but at least they walked out of here for a better chance to smell the roses in the morning. Okay, let me know when.
8:30.
8:30.
You 3 are always pulling my leg. Love you all.
Oh, this is me. I haven't been south of 8 Mile for 20 years. I can't believe my old neighborhood is in such shambles.
My kid is living on the east side on Concord Street, near East English Village. Looks bad, but actually some of those houses have been kept up pretty well, and the neighbors have been looking out for each other for the last 20 years. Neighbors are real tight. I met some of them at a picnic my kid had at a housewarming get-together. My son, the urban adventurer, looks like he will be safe and sound. That's all I'm concerned about.
Can you believe these kids? We wanted to get the hell out of here and go to the suburbs.
And that's you.
Because I don't have the whole script. Okay, so
Noel.
Number,
No,
it's
like-
front and back.
I don't have any.
You don't have the back.
Oh,
I give you mine. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I had the bumper sticker. Last one to leave, shut out the lights. I'm glad Stay Pure Tavern has a lighted parking lot and an attendant.
Detroit down to 639,000 from a peak close to 2 million. Sad. Sad story that the Democrats should be held responsible for. Sounds like the black residents had the same idea as the white residents, to get the hell out of Dodge. Right now, I'm glad I gave the attendant an extra $5 to keep an eagle eye on my F-150.
Do I hear why can't we be friends? What a stretch. But at least we're on home turf. They're probably scared as shit just being here in the city.
Yeah. Is this 20% project for real? Supposedly, at least 20% of the 74 million Trump voters, or around 15 million of them, don't believe in the big lie, nor are they anti-vax. This could be such a waste of time. There's no talking to those followers of Don Bongino and Tucker Carlson.
Oh, yeah, he's got the part. Well, we're here now, so think of it as a Margaret Mead anthropological study into, see, I'm doing the same thing Victor would do, into what I hope is an outlier group of people and their thinking. Otherwise, we're in for some troubled waters.
Okay, everybody glaring. We all glaring?
Okay, glaring, okay. Welcome to our contestants today. The contestants for the tribe and family on the right are Trump voter, but willing to accept the will of the people, Doug Provost. Doug, tell us a little bit about yourself. Doug tells us. Okay, maybe that's it.
I live in Milford, Michigan, with my beautiful wife and 3 Cocker Spaniels. Yes, I guess you could say 3-dog night. Small business owner and head of Gray Sticks Hockey for those 60 and way over. Our slogan is, Jesus saves and Russ scores on the rebound.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. Glad to hear your Gray Sticks don't follow Gordie Howe's hat trick. A goal, an assist, and a fight. Let me now have the second panelist on the right introduce himself.
I'm also a big MAGA supporter and fake news fighter. I have my own local podcast that tries to counter the lies and bias from today's media. I guess especially the Detroit Free Press. I'm an avid hockey player like Doug, but take my aggression out during hunting season. Second Amendment is my 11th commandment. Unlike the Democrats, whose 11th commandment is, thou shalt not get caught.
Well, Alex, glad to have you on board. Your belief in the second hopefully explains why you have that bulge in your pants. Only kidding, you big guy. Now, tell me you didn't support the Republicans in Michigan when they voted securing your weapons in your home after the Oxford tragedy?
Going to have to tell you that. Most gun owners are responsible with their weapons. We don't need Big Brother snooping in on us. Freedom takes priority.
You know, in the Ukraine, any male between 18 and 60 can't leave and are made to fight for the Russians. I'm sure our right wing would find that's a threat to their freedom and back down from the fight.
Jason, you couldn't be wronger. Patriots would step up if we were invaded. The left wouldn't be of any help since they have such an aversion to guns. They wouldn't know the difference between a stock, action, or cylinder on a firearm. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm just saying, you're thinking that freedom leads to tragedies like Oxford. You can't even vote to secure your guns in the home.
You lefties would never understand. You're so far into your Priuses and vegetarianism. You lefties are soft.
Obviously, Alex, you never heard of pro wrestler Killer Kowalski from Windsor. He was a 270-pound stone-cold vegetarian. Your stereotypes will put you on the wrong side of the claw hold.
Okay, relax, calm down. Don't get your shorts in a bunch. I'm glad the Stay Pure Tavern has adopted the Old West strategy of abandoning all weapons at the front door. So let's move on to our next contestant from the right. Let me introduce Stephen Plas. Is that right? Did it right?
Yes.
All yours, partner.
I'm a handyman. My slogan is, I can fix that. Married with a son living in Garden City. My kid Holden just recited the Pledge of Allegiance over the intercom at the elementary school. So proud of him. He is a ham just like his old man. Biden should have gotten his big-time smackdown in 2020. Not sure what happened.
A reference to big time wrestling, Steve-O. I could see you tag teaming up with Alex Jones in the big ring. Are you using his COVID fighting toothpaste?
Yes to the toothpaste. And you might be surprised, yes to the vaccine. My only problem with the vaccine is I never had the option of having it put in the buttock.
Well, you got a point there since you got a lot more cushion there. It would be a logistical nightmare, and as my doc, Baron would tell you that the layers of fat cells are too numerous to allow easy access to the muscles and lymph system, making the immune response ineffective and efficient. So, I'm not telling you a fat ass. I'm not calling you a fat ass, people, but science takes precedence. Now the next contestant from East Lansing, Michigan.
Well, I'm a family values person. I'm pro-life all the way. Just got back from a funeral for one of the many unborn babies. Do I have to say this? I had to leave the Democratic Party when Bill Clinton disrespected and tarnished the presidency.
Yeah, Noel. Did you hear the one about Monica Lewinsky going to her hard of hearing cleaners with a soiled dress? Monica said the stain was from a lobster dinner. But the owner of the cleaners replied, "Come again?"
Very funny. You know what Julia Child said? If women want to keep their man, they need to emphasize the 3 F's food. What?
3 F's.
3 F's food. Flattery, and since this is a family-friendly show, the 3rd F isn't fishing or finance, so I'll let your imagination answer that.
Dang, Noel. Looks like Julia sure learned something more than cooking in France.
Yes, and even though I got my booster, I was at the last rally against Governor General Lissimo Whitmer, carrying a sign, "My body, my choice."
Are you sure that sign wasn't from the pro-choice rally the day before? Just asking. Oh, was this me? Okay.
Yes, you can go.
Now before Noel can try to make sense of all that, let's meet the tribe on the left. First up, Jason Benson from our local Soviet, Huntington Woods. A member of the Huntington Woods Peace Group.
Yeah, I'm a Bernie bro. Look at the system needs a complete overhaul. Back in 2016, I wrote in Bernie for president. I didn't in 2020.
Jason, you can whisper to me, did you actually vote for Biden? My lips are sealed. Damn, that must have caused some sleepless nights. Have you heard the one about Biden being asked by Jill to go upstairs and make love? Jill replies, at my age, I have to choose one or the other. I can't do both.
That's a good one. And I heard Joe was asked, does he wear boxers or briefs? Of course, his response was depends.
Let me tell you. Next up, we have Phoebe Kaminsky residing in Southwest Detroit, but originally from Northville, Michigan.
No to right-wing basis. No to the rape song, Baby It's Cold Outside. Yes to dismantling white supremacy. Abolish the police.
Phoebe, Sister Disco, wasn't that you doing the freaky deaky in a crowd a little earlier? Or was that what millennials call twerking? Just joking on you. We're still working on making the Stay Pure Tavern a safe place. Good luck with that one. Our last contestant is a longtime resident of the Cody Rouge neighborhood and a longtime civil rights activist, Donnie Clyburn.
Let's stop the BS of defunding the police and looting is a form of reparations. those demands almost lost us the election in 2020. Remember what John Lemon said? But if you go carrying signs on Chairman excuse me, it's hard for me to see without my glasses. Mayo, you ain't going to make it with anyone, anywhere, anyhow.
Hell, I've been saying that for years. Johnny, we need to talk more. The left is all about the cancel culture, and you know the Stones had it all over the Beatles.
Ouch. As Sly Stone would sing, it's a family affair. It's a family affair.
Now, Alex, the right is numero uno when it comes to the cancel culture. Like trying to cancel the 180 million votes in the 2020 elections. You Republicans are all about canceling democracy.
Donnie, I grew up in the Cody Rouge neighborhood back in the 50s and 60s. I remember the Cookie Queen, Micmac Baseball, the Barney McCoskey League, winter sports at Rouge Park.
John Hubacher, Barney McCoskey headquarters, still there on Joy Road.
Yeah, better boys and girls through better baseball was the slogan of the league. You couldn't have had a better supportive neighborhood for us youngsters. I hope it still exists.
We got a ways to go, and the neighborhood has changed, but we still have community groups like St. Suzanne, Cody Rouge Community Rec Center, and the Barney McCloskey League.
So let's get started. But first, a small change in the rules. The answers will not be what the audience thinks, but actually what the answer is in fact. First question, for all of you history buffs out there, let's start with the tribe on the left. Question, what did Truman say to Congress? You are the blank Congress?
Oh yeah, Truman said, Congress, you are doing it.
Yeah, Congress is doing nasty.
Hold on, brother and sister. Were you too sleepy during history classes?
You keep going.
Oh, Truman said, do nothing, Congress, just like Biden would have had to tell the American public why progressive policies are not forthcoming if the Dems would have come up short in Georgia.
The answer is, do nothing, Congress. Okay, question for the right. What state that voted for Trump in 2020 still voted for a $15 minimum wage?
Alex.
Oh, that's me, I'm sorry. Question goes to the right because we're right. It's got to be a fake news question. We're talking now like Cuba or Venezuela.
Bad news for my small business. Don't pull an Obama on us. You didn't build that, bees. No, not Texas.
Please, let's have an answer. What state voted for the $15 minimum wage?
Hell, $15 would help a guy like me. I'll say Texas.
Democrats will get their way once Puerto Rico and D.C. become states. So, like Alex said, this must be fake news.
So, are you going with Texas?
Yeah, why not? Lone Star State, baby.
No, the correct answer was either Florida or Maine.
Snowbird, make room for me. Forget the sunshine. I'm looking for some green Benjamins.
Next question goes to the coastal elites, the lefties.
Hold on right there. I'm originally from Northville, Michigan. Most of my neighbors are right-wingers, but we are still cordial with one another. Hell, I have a few family members that have drunk the Trump Kool-Aid. We can still get together on Thanksgiving and watch the Lions lose another one.
Excuse me for butting in, but on the right, we have some similar experiences, Phoebe. Our Gray Sticks hockey, we have a couple of ski brothers that take a knee during the national anthem at our tournament in Grand Rapids. I hate it and think it's disrespecting our service people. The ski brothers say they love their country and they're doing it in solidarity with black victims of police aggression and Colin Kaepernick. I wish they would have followed Kaepernick's lead and not vote, but the ski brothers never miss a vote. Also, they are on one of our top lines, so we work it out. They like to think they are the Rocket and the Pocket Rocket from the Montreal Canadiens' heyday. You know, Maurice and Henry Richard.
I hope the ski brothers put a rocket up their asses for the next skate since they've been slowing down a bit. Hell, if I was going to pick a Canadian, I would have chosen Boom Boom Jeffrey on because of my slapper and always heralding my Second Amendment rights.
We got that win at the Van Andel Arena and celebrated with some Hudsonville ice cream out in Grand Rapids. Now that is some ice cream. Move over, Ben and Jerry's.
Oh, you're so right, Phoebe and Doug. Is it time for us to join hands and sing Kumbaya? That's enough of blowing smoke up each other's arches. Yep. Alex will probably show us a hockey card of Willie O'Reed to suggest there is no reason to talk about racism on the right. Okay, let's go back to my friends on the right. Who said no widespread election fraud occurred in 2020?
I'm sure Sleepy Joe must have said it 1,000 times. You know CRT is on my shit list, but TMB is what Biden has to be concerned about. Yeah, TMB, too many birthdays.
Excuse me, but you mentioned CRT. Let's get behind the standards that we have right now for history. Hell, I spent time helping to write them as a history teacher at Cody High School, and those standards take an honest look at the failures, racism in our history, as well as seeing some peaks of blue skies and advancements.
Donnie, CRT for another day. If we want some unity for the two tribes, let's talk about SOL. You know, the same old lions. But we got to move on. Let me clarify the question. I'm speaking of a Republican cabinet member in 2020.
Was it Ivanka or Jared or maybe Don Jr.?
Cabinet members Doug, not family members, and they all think the election was jacked.
Not Mnuchin or Pompeo. Let's go with William Barr since he got canned before 2020 ended.
Right on. William Barr made the assertion. Now back to the left. This question will be presented by our own Greek chorus.
Who said 306 electoral votes is a landslide victory back in 2016?
Easy one, partner. Let me do this one. Trump!
Let me butt in here from the right. It was a close election. Only 43,000 vote difference in 3 key states made the difference.
Close only counts in horseshoes. I say a 7 million margin for Joe and Kamala is a landslide.
Landslide my ass. We're 74 million strong. Copy that. And Biden's numbers are lower now than Gandhi's cholesterol was back in 1945.
Okay. That leads to the next question for the right. What 3 states are we talking about regarding the 43,000 vote differential?
Alex and I have this one. Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona.
2 of those states were reliably red states until they weren't.
Back to the left. These 4 states all approve of tax increases to support public education. Colorado, Oregon, name the 2 red states that did the same.
This must have happened in Grover Norquist's dead body. Norquist, the right-winger who said, my goal is to cut down the size of the government in half. so it can be drowned in the bathtub. We're on the left give up. We don't have the foggiest.
The great states of Arizona and Missouri. Is that right, Emma?
Yeah.
Missouri? Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, let's stay with the left. How many Republican senators and House members voted to nullify the election of Joe Biden on January 6, 2020?
Sounds like treason to me. Hey, Alex, you know what they used to do with traitors?
Firing squad. Now you're going a little too far, my friend. The best thing you can do with those Republicans is treat them like chopped liver. Don't pay them no mind. 2020 had election results I hated, and I don't know how it happened, but I will never be a bad loser or a crybaby.
How about an answer? How about time for a commercial? I could sure use a shot of liquor at the Old Stage Pure Tavern.
Did I hear someone say liquor? Hell, I hardly know her.
Marcy, you boys have the sense of humor my Uncle Joe from Saginaw had. He was out there. Always could make you chuckle. Like the time he sang at my cousin Mary Lou's wedding. Let me call you sweetheart. This was, of course, after a few shots and a beer. And after his rendition of Who Stole the Kishka.
Sounds like my kind of wedding. I can smell the pierogies cooking right now. I love Polish shorts, and bet your Uncle Joe was even wearing his Polish shorts.
Enough already. And Donnie, you will fit in well at my daughter's wedding. Make sure you bring some dollars to place on her wedding dress for the dollar dance.
Invite me, and I'll bring a few 20s with Harriet Tubman's face on it. Should I bring any dancing shoes?
Not if you dance like Elaine on Seinfeld.
You know, some of us whites like to dance. We can get down.
Yeah, Rocket was telling me about going to his wife's 25th class reunion from St. Cyril High in the early 90s. St. Cyril was on the Lower East Side of Detroit, just north of Kettering High School near I-94. Rocket Ski said he looked around and people were smoking and looked a little out of shape. But then the music started.
Let me help you, Doug, with your story by getting the Greek chorus to choreograph it.
Thanks, that would help because I was going to try to do some of the dances that I saw, and I want to save my energy for whooping the left in this game.
Okay, we're dancing.
Keep going, Doug.
Well, first they were all doing greaser dancing. Then a song played by the DJ was The Temptations, and of course the crowd was doing the Temptation Walk. Next song was by Dee Dee Sharp, The Mashed Potatoes. Then, to my surprise, was Jackie Wilson's Lonely Teardrops. I swear when the DJ played James Brown's I Feel Good, actually a few of those middle-aged cats were doing the splits. Yikes. No way with my artificial knee am I even going to visualize that.
Sounds like white student body of St. Cyril has some soul.
Isn't that what you folks on the left call cultural appropriation? You know, the so-called dominant group adopting the customs and dances of black people?
I always took it as a compliment that you white folks knew some good music and moves when you saw it and heard it.
Good moves on the dance floor or on the football field, basketball court, ball field, ice rink are just good moves and should be appreciated as the pretty moves that they are.
Amen.
Amen.
You mean on this secular show we can even use a religious term? Well, JMJ, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, is how I had to head all my papers at St. Simon and Jude Parish in Westland. It made me always think that I was glad to be on the same team as those three notables.
Staying with the religious theme, Alex, my Jewish neighbors, the Rays, in Huntington Woods, tell a funny story about their Hanukkah celebration in 2021, where the lighting of the 9 candles turned into a lesson about the 9 passes the Lion quarterback, Jared Goff, had to make in the last minutes against Minnesota to win their first game of the season. All I can say is the last pass wasn't even a Hail Mary. It was a bullet. The Lion fans celebrated as if they won the Super Bowl.
Okay, another kumbaya moment. Here's another question for the left, since they ran out of time on the last one. What American general first had all his troops inoculated against the smallpox virus?
Probably General MacArthur pushed to liberate the Philippines during World War II.
No, Donnie, let's go back a little further with General Grant during the Civil War.
Both are wrong. The first general to require the troops to be inoculated was General George Washington. The British were one step ahead of Washington's troops because they were inoculated before crossing the Atlantic, whereas 90% of the deaths in the Continental Army were from smallpox. General Washington would have been called a dictator and received death threats from today's lunatics. Well, let's end the game with saying, no matter if you're on the right or left, can get behind. I am Al Sobotka. Did I say that right?
Who the hell is Al Sabatka?
Detroit Red Wings Simboni driver urinating outside the ring.
I can relate, probably had prostate problems.
Okay, I am Al Sabatka.